But it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house.
In the world of celebrity culture and media scrutiny, few stories unfold without layers of complexity, controversy, and public fascination. The saga involving Shannon Sharpe, Jaguar Wright, Gabriella Ceja, Michelle, Cat Williams, and Monique has become a focal point for discussions around power, accountability, relationships, and the mechanisms by which narratives are shaped in the entertainment industry. What began as a high-profile legal dispute has evolved into a broader conversation about how individuals, especially those with influence, are targeted, manipulated, or even destroyed when they challenge certain systems or norms. Shannon Sharpe, once celebrated for his charismatic presence on sports television and later as a podcaster, found himself at the center of a storm after allegations emerged from multiple women. The first major legal blow came in the form of a lawsuit filed by Gabriella Ceja, who accused Sharpe of defamation following their highly publicized relationship. This case opened the floodgates, prompting other voices to step forward, including Michelle, Sharpe's former partner of nearly a decade, who detailed an emotionally and physically abusive dynamic that allegedly culminated in a traumatic encounter in 2010. According to her account, she was manipulated into leaving her husband only to discover Sharpe had been unfaithful throughout their relationship. A confrontation turned violent, with Michelle alleging that Sharpe forced her into non-consensual acts and threatened her life if she spoke out. Her decision to drop the initial restraining order was reportedly influenced by fear, not just for herself but for her child. The timing of these revelations became even more contentious when it was revealed that Sharpe had been preparing for an interview with Jaguar Wright, a respected figure in the music industry known for speaking candidly about behind-the-scenes dynamics in Hollywood. Wright, who has long been vocal about systemic issues within the entertainment business, took to social media and interviews to offer her perspective on what she described as a coordinated effort to take down Sharpe. She suggested that powerful entities felt threatened by his podcasting platform, particularly after he conducted explosive interviews with figures like Cat Williams and Monique, both of whom have spoken out against influential industry players such as Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. Cat Williams in particular had warned Sharpe during their interview that there would be consequences for speaking out so freely. He cautioned Sharpe that people in positions of power would retaliate, potentially using a white woman to bring him down, a prophecy that some now believe has come true in light of Gabriella Ceja's lawsuit. Sharpe dismissed these concerns at the time, continuing to engage in relationships with younger women and maintaining his provocative style of commentary. However, the fallout from these decisions has been swift and severe. Jaguar Wright's involvement added another layer to the unfolding drama. She did not shy away from criticizing Sharpe's personal choices, particularly his pattern of dating women significantly younger than him, some young enough to be his daughters. Wright argued that this behavior made him vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation, especially by those who might seek to use such relationships as leverage against him. She also hinted at a larger agenda at play, suggesting that Sharpe's rise as a truth-teller in the podcasting space had made him a target for forces that prefer silence over transparency. Wright went further, claiming that there were unseen efforts underway to dismantle Sharpe's career and reputation. She alleged that a media campaign was being orchestrated to turn public opinion against him, painting him as predatory and dangerous. This narrative, she claimed, was being pushed by individuals with vested interests in silencing voices like Sharpe's. Her comments resonated with many who have long suspected that the entertainment industry operates under a veil of control, where dissent is met with swift retribution. Sharpe's own words, captured in past interviews, reflect a man who believed he was untouchable. During a discussion with comedian Cam Newton, he expressed confidence in the reach and impact of his podcast, believing it could rival top-tier platforms like Steve Harvey's. He seemed unaware of the potential repercussions of aligning himself with controversial figures or making bold claims about the inner workings of the industry. When Cat Williams told him that their interview would go viral, and that they're going to come for you, Sharpe appeared unfazed, convinced that he had nothing to fear. Yet the events that followed suggest otherwise. Sponsors pulled away, opportunities vanished, and Sharpe found himself facing a barrage of negative press and legal challenges. His upcoming interview with Jaguar Wright, which many anticipated would be a significant moment in his career, never materialized due to the mounting controversies. Instead, Wright used her own platform to dissect what she saw as Sharpe's missteps, both personal and professional, and to warn others about the dangers of trusting the wrong people in an industry built on illusion. Public reaction to the situation has been divided. Some have expressed disappointment, seeing Sharpe's downfall as a result of poor judgment and reckless behavior. Others have raised questions about the motives behind the sudden surge in allegations, wondering whether this is a case of legitimate justice or a calculated takedown. There is also a growing conversation about generational responsibility. Many feel that Sharpe, as a black man in America, had a duty to build lasting wealth and legacy for his family rather than squander his resources on fleeting relationships and risky ventures. The issue of age disparities in relationships has also taken center stage. Critics argue that men in their 60s pursuing romantic or sexual relationships with women in their 20s often reflects a fundamental imbalance of power and maturity. They argue that such dynamics can lead to coercion, emotional manipulation, and even abuse. In Sharpe's case, these concerns are amplified by the allegations of misconduct and the trauma reported by multiple women. As the story continues to develop, one thing remains clear: the intersection of fame, power, and personal accountability is rarely straightforward. Whether Sharpe is the victim of a conspiracy or simply reaping the consequences of his own actions, his journey serves as a cautionary tale about the risks of navigating the spotlight without regard for the forces at play. It also highlights the importance of critical thinking when consuming media, particularly when narratives are constructed for mass consumption. Jaguar Wright's role in the discourse cannot be ignored. As someone who has faced her own battles within the industry, she brings a unique perspective to the table. Her willingness to speak out, even when it means calling out someone like Sharpe, underscores the need for honest conversations about the realities of working in entertainment. She has positioned herself as a voice of reason in a landscape often clouded by misinformation and sensationalism. Ultimately, the ongoing saga surrounding Shannon Sharpe, Jaguar Wright, and the broader implications of their interactions remind us that no one, no matter how famous or successful, is immune to scrutiny or consequence. The court of public opinion can be harsh, but it is also reflective of societal values and expectations. As more details emerge, audiences will continue to grapple with the complexities of truth, power, and redemption in the digital age.